Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Today is Thursday, February 2nd, 2017. Gold closed out at $1,215.80. Silver at $17.48. And I wanted to do a quick economic news brief. I know it's late, but we have some interesting events coming on. Something very interesting happened. On Wednesday, the U.S. Appeals Court revived three private antitrust lawsuits accusing J.P. Morgan and Chase and Company of rigging the silver market futures contracts traded on COMEX. And this was formally shot down. You know, when these big banks get into these litigations and these lawsuits, they have a lot of lawyers and judges and people in their pocket that they can go and get these shot down. And the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New York said that the lower court judge, the one that initially held the claims, he, in a way, used technicalities to get hedge fund manager Daniel Shack and the two other traders to an excessively high legal standard when deciding. It was last June 29th to dismiss their complaints. So Shack, Mark Grumman, and Thomas Wacker accused the largest U.S. bank. This is what their litigation was, of having in late 2010 and early 2011 placed artificial bids on the trading floor. They harangued staff at metals market COMEX to obtain prices it wanted and made misrepresentations to a committee that set settlement prices. So they created false shares, artificial bids, to be able to manipulate the price, and they were caught in it. The traders said this forced them to post more capital to support their positions in the silver future spreads and ultimately to liquidate them at heavy losses. So they directly affected the price of silver in order to profit while others lost, and real people lose in these things. And so the great thing is it was a three-judge panel that rejected the U.S. District Court Judge Paul Engelmeyer's finding that the traders did not adequately show that J.P. Morgan intended to rig the market. So they threw out the previous decision that it was their fault, that they did it on purpose. And the panel said Engelmeyer demanded too much detail, that he directly, in a way to avoid the facts or to avoid the guilty finding, created an artificial standard which they could not reach, including specific transaction terms, the identities of J.P. Morgan's counterparties. And so it also said Engelmeyer engaged in impermissible fact-finding by objecting to the plaintiff's use of a 12-month silver indicative forward mid-rates as a benchmark for determining proper spread levels. And this is great. They reopened the case. The J.P. Morgan spokesman Brian Marchioni declined to comment on the ruling, of course. We hold that plaintiffs adequately pleaded willful acquisition or maintenance of monopoly power to sustain an antitrust claim, the appeals court panel said. So it's back into the courts to decide once again about silver rigging, about price rigging that happened during 2011. The lawyer for the traders, David Koval, he made the statement that they're happy with the decision. They look forward to having the claims heard, as do I, because J.P. Morgan, we know, has amassed vast amounts of physical silver at this point, and they have been highly involved in the silver price rigging. It's great to see them in court. J.P. Morgan has prevailed on other silver cases, including in 2014 when the Second Circuit rejected class action claims that the New York-based bank intended to drive the prices down. The case was ultimately dismissed, which is how they do this. They manipulate the court system to be able to avoid this. And so because we see they're back into court for fixing the metals market prices, this is great news for silver investors, because it may bring some of this to light, may stop some of the litigation was accusing them of having monopoly power, having amassed so much silver and so much into the futures market that they had monopoly power and could control and manipulate the price in order to cause other investors to sell, at which point they would purchase more, and on the rise back, they would make more money. And so these kind of things need to be stopped, especially when they're artificial bids, when they're artificial paper bids. And it's just great news to see that some of these bankers and some of these responsible are coming to justice, are being tried, so that maybe we can bring an end to some of this paper metals manipulation that is affecting real people's lives. We saw some massive moves in the silver market today. The media is all in an uproar over Trump and his conversation with the Australian Prime Minister about him slamming down the phone, trying to say that we should take in refugees. And there's all this firestorm, this media firestorm about Donald Trump's plan with immigration. And it really comes down to a media bias, a undermining of American democracy that we're facing right now. So it's important to know and to be prepared. So that's great news. JP Morgan finally taking a hit. Just wanted to give you that news brief, guys. And it's time now in this low time. I had a couple people in the comment box mentioning, I wish I could buy more. I hope the price doesn't go up too fast, but now is the time. Take the steps and acquire precious metals now. We see what happened in India when their currency was suffering economic woes, was suffering difficulties, and we saw that all the people in a panic when they tried to go to a cashless system by eliminating the highest value notes first. And we know that was a test of this cashless system they've been talking about. We saw the people's wealth flow directly into precious metals, into gold. Gold imports were restricted. Now silver purchases, because the silver demand became so high, is now being restricted and hampered by a massive tax. And so this is what happens in a currency crisis that we're facing in America right now. I mentioned previously in other episodes, but for those that are new listeners, we saw in Russia's currency crisis, when the banks were limiting the amount of money that people were able to take out of their accounts on a daily basis, the people were going out and they were buying TVs, buying wood, buying bricks, buying any physical, any kind of store of value, because the currency was crashing so fast. If they kept their money in cash or in the banks, was depreciating so rapidly that it was better to go out and to buy something solid. And precious metals were not attainable. They had restricted the purchase of gold and silver during that time of private citizens because they were in a massive economic crisis, a currency crisis. And so people were going out and trying to get a hold of just anything to get their money out of the currency and to later resell it as the currency settled. And we will see flows like this out of the US dollar when these dollars start coming home. Iran's money leaving the petrodollar is not a small thing. And when we see these dollars begin to come home and this inflation setting in, it's amazing, these news articles. I just saw a news article, they were talking about that this is a record, that America has gone a record amount of time without a recession. And I don't really think that they're watching these GDP numbers of 1.6% for 2016. I don't know what world they live in. Things are not the same. Your paycheck does not go as far. Getting paid more and it's worth less. Both people in the home working. Credit card debt outstanding. That's why people aren't shopping during the holiday season, because people are hurting and we see inflation rising all around us. All right, thank you guys for joining me. Just wanted to give you the little news brief. I was excited about that JP Morgan case being reopened. It's great to see these things because we know that they're rigging the markets. We know that they're rigging the paper markets. And this is the key to bringing them down, to end the paper price manipulation, because the when you put it in any other market, the supply to demand ratio, it makes no sense in precious metals. And ending the suppression of precious metals by creating this futures market and creating false shares of silver will cause massive gains for silver and precious metals. It'll cause, as we've been seeing recently on these precious metal sites, and I'll bring it up again, these item not available, notify me when available. We see silver stocks being sold out from major dealers, which is a good sign for the real demand that is rising, not only in America, but around the world. All right, thank you guys for joining me. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe. There'll be more videos just like this. Like the video, leave a comment in the comment box what you think. Share the videos, get the word out, guys. I thank you so much for joining me. We're over 1,000 subscribers, so we're going to be having free silver February coming up. And thank you guys so much. Stay safe. Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. I told you we had something special coming up. So what we're going to do, I just got a nice package in the mail. Got 2 brand new 2017 Canadian Maples. Man, I love these coins. What a beautiful coin that is. Oh, I guess you're wondering about the title of the video. That's right. This is Free Silver February, guys. And I figured since the channel's been doing so good and picking up so many subscribers, I thought it was time to give a little something back to my audience. So for every person who subscribed, all you have to do, guys, is comment on 3 different videos the message Free Silver February. And for everybody who types the message Free Silver February in 3 different videos, each 3 videos, you're entered in for a chance to win one of these brand new silver Canadian Maples. Brand new, never touched by human hands. Well, at least since they've been in my possession. Brand new spotless coins. And they're yours, guys. I'll pay shipping. So if you want to partake in the contest, all you gotta do is be subscribed. Type in Free Silver February. I'll make it even sweeter. Every 3 videos you post that comment in, you're entered in. So there's no limit. The only limit is the amount of videos because it's gotta be on 3 separate videos. Alright, and I'll make it even sweeter since the channel's been doing so well, guys. And if you're new to this channel, we talk a little bit about politics, a little bit about the current economic crisis we're facing that they're trying to ignore. It's kind of one of those fake news sites they've been warning you about. So this is what I'm going to do, guys, since it's been doing so good. If we surpass 1,000 subscribers, which I'm assuming we will, at the current rate, we'll blow past that before the end date, February 27th, 2017, I'm going to double it. So you get 2 ounces of silver, and even more than that, I'll throw in 5 mercury dimes. Absolutely free. I'll pay shipping, and we're going to do the drawing live, guys. Good old-fashioned pull names out of a hat. You know what I mean. So here's your chance, guys, if you want to enter in. It's not that difficult for all my audience, all my faithful subscribers. Everyone who subscribed, all you have to comment is Free Silver February, and you're in. Alright, but thank you guys for joining me. This message is effective January 27th, 2017. Let the games begin.